Intermediate Self-Improvement 5. Siafeng. Translation edited by Qingyu. 6. Self-Rescue in Life, Spirit, and Soul. Heaven helps those who help themselves. Laziness, passivity, idleness, and complacency are life's great enemies. These negative influences not only prevent us from achieving anything in the material world but also render us helpless in the non-material world. First is self-rescue in life. Whether we are in bustling cities or remote villages, among family and friends or strangers, we must mentally place ourselves on a deserted island, not relying on deities or emperors, not waiting for windfalls, and not harboring any lucky illusions. Only by relying on ourselves can we solve problems of food, water, warmth, safety, and loneliness. This mindset maximizes our potential, attracts external help, and gains the support of benefactors and the protection of gods and Buddhas. Self-rescue in life relies not only on diligence but more importantly on intelligence. For instance, if you are a farmer with only a small piece of land, you can make ends meet in a good harvest year, but what if a disaster strikes? Have you considered planting medicinal herbs or other cash crops, or learning a craft in your spare time to increase your family income? If you are a laborer, forced to work more than 10 hours a day under high intensity, enduring the temper of your boss, and not getting your hard-earned money at the end of the year, why not muster the courage to start a small business or learn some carpentry or masonry skills? If you are a worker or a junior staff member, think about how much you earn in a year. Relying on that salary can only maintain a modest standard of living. What if there is any illness or disaster? When can you step onto the path of a comfortable and prosperous life? Why not attend a technical training class, or start a small restaurant, tea shop, convenience store, or hair salon? If you are a technician, engineer, middle school teacher, senior staff member, secretary, translator, etc., and if your talents have not been utilized for a long time and you have been suppressed for a long time, why not change your work environment? When the east is not bright, the west is bright. When the south is dark, there is the north. There is always a way out, and there is no place on the ground where grass does not grow. Use your brain and see where your optimal coordinate system and coordinates are. The depth and breadth of life are boundless. Only those who rise up in adversity and step by step explore the depth and breadth of life are qualified to receive divine help, to enjoy life, to discuss life, to guide and criticize others, to see the essence through the phenomenon, to see the non-material through the material, to see the divine through the human, and to see the greatest creator through God. When you see the light of the greatest creator, you are qualified to obtain eternal life. Spiritual self-rescue. The term essence has two layers of meaning. The first refers to the nutrients that an organism obtains from food in order to maintain continuous movement. That is, after food enters the human body, apart from the part that is excreted, the rest is absorbed and digested by the organism, forming what is known as vital energy. The second is the subtle matter stored in the body for use by the living body to maintain movement. The term divine also has two meanings. One is the invisible and indescribable controlling force that coordinates the effective mutual assistance operation of various organs and parts of the living body, such as the force that allows the combination of sperm and egg to develop into a complete human body in the mother's womb. The second is the force of resonance of human thought and soul with the negative universe. It can also be understood that anything that is invisible, indescribable, inaudible, and untouchable, but has a real effect on you, is divine. This refers to the narrow sense of divine. The spirit is the combination of essence and divine, the pillar of the living body, and the bridge and junction of the mutual connection and interaction between material and non-material. Without spirit, people will perish. Not only the body will perish, but also the family and the career they are engaged in will decline. People with spirit can suppress all evils. Not only are they not infected with diseases, but they are also not approached by evil spirits, and they can absorb the essence of the sun and the moon and the aura of heaven and earth. To be strong, you must first have spirit, and to have spirit, you must first learn to keep in good health. Truck drivers know that if a truck is maintained in time, effectively, frequently changing air filters, oil filters, the gap of spark plugs is just right, the size of piston rings is suitable, the cylinder body is not scuffed, the gas door does not leak, the sealing ring, the sealing pad seals well, the transmission part is well lubricated, the cooling system is not blocked, the ignition is on time, then, this truck is powerful. Even if it is fully loaded with goods, climbing steep slopes is no problem. It can be said that this car has spirit. On the contrary, it will slip and even retreat, and there is no spirit. Similarly, if people keep in good health, they will have strength, spirit, vitality, creativity, and rich imagination. Health preservation mainly nourishes essence, energy, spirit, and form. One of the main purposes of health preservation is to cultivate spirit. Spirit cannot be borrowed, cannot be stolen, it can only rely on self-rescue. Soul, heart and spirit, self-rescue. Here, the heart specifically refers to the part of the heart function that leads a person's thoughts, consciousness, and mental activities. Spirit refers to spirituality, wisdom information wave, which is not affected by material and space-time, comes from the negative universe, never strays from truth, goodness, and beauty, and only acts on the heart. The soul is a heart with spirituality. When a person's heart yearns for truth, goodness, and beauty, the heart and spirit can immediately resonate. This longing, if sustained, can cultivate a perfect soul. Such a soul enables your thoughts and consciousness to communicate with the negative universe, creating a unity where you become the universe, and the universe becomes you. In this state, divine light is always present, symbolizing the unity and response between heaven and man. This allows you to harness the energy of the negative universe, and you will be blessed by gods and Buddhas everywhere. Your desires and wishes can be quickly fulfilled, your thoughts can become reality, and your visualizations can be actualized. In this state, what you can accomplish in 2 hours of quiet sitting could surpass what an ordinary person might achieve in 20 years of hard work. When a person's thinking and consciousness deviate from truth, goodness, and beauty, the spirit wave will be cut off immediately. At this point, only the heart exists without the spirit. A heart devoid of spirit can only cycle endlessly within the confines of the material world and three-dimensional space. Such a person, except for the human appearance and some other characteristics, is almost no different from animals, and his soul will definitely go to the animal level in the next life. Soul self-rescue means that no matter what kind of adverse and unfortunate circumstances you are in, you must yearn for truth, goodness, and beauty, and you must act and behave based on the principles of truth, goodness, and beauty. When people around you are muddling through, you must practice soul self-rescue. When everyone is fighting and scrambling, indulging in pleasures, you must practice soul self-rescue. When people are indifferent and drifting with the wind, you must practice soul self-rescue. When people are fanatic about a certain political movement or religious superstition, you must practice soul self-rescue. When people bully, oppress, deceive, extort, ridicule, and mock you, you must practice soul self-rescue. When you encounter difficulties in life and troubles at work, you must practice soul self-rescue. When you are suffering from stubborn diseases, or on the verge of bankruptcy, or isolated and helpless, you must practice soul self-rescue. As long as you learn to practice soul self-rescue, the gods and Buddha will help you break through the predicament, and miracles will definitely happen.